Have you seen that demo? Yes, no. 14 students are there. No one is responding.
Yes, sir. We have shown.
You have seen that demo.
Yes, sir.
Saving up the resources.
Yes.
Okay. Will you play the flash file animations on your own, which I have shared yesterday on our WhatsApp group? So something new I will show you today. Okay, one of you, Kedar, Komal, just install the flash player and run one of the animation, either stop and wait or go back in. I have uploaded 3 different files yesterday, 3 SWF files, which shows the animation, which will entirely clear our concept, the problems associated with the protocols that are used at data link layer. Go back in. Only 2 practicals will be remaining: token bucket algorithm, study of token bucket algorithm, and simulation of distance vector routing. Along with that, we will study the Wireshark software. It's a packet analyzer. Packet analyzer, what are the contents of the packets? Every content, every bit, what types of protocols are used in the packet, everything is available whenever we try to analyze the packet that is sent from your terminal over the internet. What type of protocol, whether the protocol is HTTP protocol, FTP protocol, or any sort of protocol, then that can be analyzed with the help of the Wireshark. Previous name for the Wireshark software was Ethereal. Ethereal Packet Analyzer. It's open source. It's available. You can also download that Wireshark, and next time I will show you the demo associated. But before that, you download this particular package Wireshark and try to see what are the contents. Then once you download and try something, okay, Sumit, I will make you presenter. You can share your screen.
Hello, sir.
Yeah, you are now presenter. You can share your screen.
Yes, sir. Which should I play, sir?
Stop and wait. Any, you can start with stop and wait. Then you
Yes,
can
sir. Stop
go
it.
back in. And third one is selective repeat. ARQ.
Yes, sir.
Screen is not visible. You have shared, but it's not visible.
Is it visible, sir?
Instead of sharing the screen, share the application so that that application will be directly available to everyone. In the menu at the top, share the application directly instead of file, instead of my screen, share the application.
Okay, sir. Now is it visible, sir?
Yeah, your start menu, just minimize that your start menu. Now the application is also visible. Adobe Flash Play.
Which menu, sir?
Yeah, it's okay now. Here, the terminal want to share the information. So the packets or the frames are available. The timer, just look at the frames that are available at the red end or the red terminal. Then the red terminal is connected to the router is connected to different other terminals. At present, in this particular animation, it's shown only the unilateral flow of frames from red terminal to other terminals. And the acknowledgement frames are available from the receiver end back to the sender's end. When a frame is successfully received, acknowledgement of that frame is available at the sender's end. And the timer is reset when the acknowledgement is received. This is stop and wait. If the frame is lost, then the frame needs to be retransmitted, and after retransmission only the acknowledgement is received. Here, the second frame is received, acknowledgement is received at the sender's end. There are two issues. The first issue is if the acknowledgement is lost, then the sender will resend its frame. But the frame is already available. Once that already available, there is a duplicate frame that's available at the router's end. So router will discard newly available duplicate frame, keeping in stack the previous frame, which will be handed over after complete defragmentation. Just continue. Zeroth frame is received, acknowledgement number 1 is sent. First one number frame is received, acknowledgement 0 is not at all required. The timer is turned off. So the time eventually the timer will be out and the sender will resend the frame, assuming that the frame is not at all received by the receiver or is lost into the communication media. See here, now the duplicate frame is received, but receiver already has. So the acknowledge that frame is dumped and the acknowledgement is sent back to the red terminal.
Okay, sir.
Now once again run complete animation. Restart the animation.
Again, sir.
Yeah. Look out for the packets. Yellow packets are not yet sent, and the green packets are sent but not acknowledged. everyone try to run all the animations on your own. Look out for the flow of packet. You will get a complete idea associated with this protocol. That is the first protocol that was developed, supposed to be the first procedure for HDLC protocols. Data
Yes,
link
sir.
layer.
Done.
Yeah, I think you can run the next two animations. And can you explain it along with the animation?
Not that much, sir.
Okay. It's well written, just run it. First was stop and wait. There are two others. Go back and
Selective.
and then selective repeat. For this, the window size is defined. The window size is 3 frames. This protocol uses sequence numbers. Just continue. Here on the red buffer 0, 1, 2. That is the size of window. So in this configuration, the window size is defined as 3 for the sender side. At the receiver side, the window size is not at all defined, or it's a single window. Size is 1. One disadvantage is that it specifically or underutilizes the bandwidth that is supported by the communication area. That is the biggest drawback associated with, because for the 3, if the acknowledgement is not at all received, all the data is to be retransmitted. All the 3 frames in the specific window needs to be retransmitted, and that is the drawback. And that drawback is minimized in the selective repeat request. Selective repeat request, in that both the sender as well as receiver window size is 1. Just open that animation.
Yes, sir. Repeat, sir.
Yeah, screen is not visible.
Hello?
The screen is not visible. Yeah, it's now available.
Is it visible, sir?
Yeah, yeah. Just read the whatever written in that block. The
Yes, sir.
window of equal size at sender and receiver end. Just read it.
In this protocol, both the sender and receiver have windows of equal size. Each window must be at most half the size of number of sequence numbers. Our window size will be 3 frames and our sequence 0 and ends at 7. So the window size is less available sequence numbers.
See here. Stop it. Stop it. Pause it. Here, there are 7 frames. Total 7 frames. The window size is half of the total number of frames. 7 frames less than half. So instead of 4, we are taking it as 3. Each frame sent by the sender has its own logical timers, separate timer for every frame. See, for frame 0, timer is different from for frame 1, timer is different, for frame 2, timer is different. If the timer runs out before the frame is acknowledged, the frame is to be retransmitted. Make it very, very clear. Even if it reaches at the receiver end, the frame needs to be retransmitted if the timer expires. And within that time duration, the acknowledgement of that received frame is not received at the sender's end. Just continue. Everyone must operate this particular animation on its own. Then only you will properly understand the concept of this protocol at the data link layer. Is based on the every. Yes.
Yes, sir, done.
Yeah. I hope everyone will operate on his own, try to see the concept. Based on this, Cisco is utilizing the HDLC protocol. HDLC protocol is the proprietary protocol that is used for Cisco. Why I am stressing on Cisco? Because 95% of the networking devices, such as switches at layer 2 or at layer 3 or the routers are Cisco based or Cisco origin. So managing these devices, skilled persons are required, and you must know the protocols that these devices will be utilizing. Cisco is not at all utilizing PPP protocol. By default, SDLC protocols are for the Cisco devices, but if you want to use PPP protocol, you have to configure. Otherwise, all the Cisco devices are already configured for SDLC protocol. Out of which, again, one of the component that is used by the IBM, proprietary IBM SNA architecture, simple networking architecture, which is utilized by IBM mainframe, IBM Super Mini, and IBM mini computers, the clients, nodes, intelligent as well as non-intelligent nodes which are connected to these devices are utilizing one subset of this SDLC protocol, and that is SDLC, Synchronous Digital Protocol or Link Access. This particular SDLC protocol is utilized by proprietary IBM configuration. In the morning, we have seen the difference in the SDLC and PPP type of protocol. The PPP type of protocol was quite popular, but at present, PPP over Ethernet is the protocol that is used at the network layer, which assigns, yeah, this much information is sufficient. You operate it, and if you find it any difficulty, you can personally contact me. If it's not at all necessary, if you are having some issues in talking in group, you can personally contact me individually. I will explain you the entire concept, and I am available 24/7. Whenever you call, I will provide you the answer related to your queries. But try to read something. If you are not at all having the books, e-books are available on the net. Person's book is available everywhere. The entire PDF will be around 20 to 25 MB. Of course, it's a compressed PDF that's available, or 49 MB person's book is also available, which is one of the best book that is to be utilized for PCM. What I'm going to show you today is I'm sharing how your terminal can be a server, can be configured as a server. For I'm specifically talking about now a Windows platform. For Windows platform, you have to add the feature if it's not at all already available. Yeah, already I have uploaded all the 3 simulations on our WhatsApp group. Regular WhatsApp group, I have already uploaded. Turn on, add feature. Turn Windows feature on or off. I'm specifically talking about Windows 8 and Windows 10. My operating system is Windows 10. For Windows 10, it's a similar type of configuration, only the version of IIS will be different. Turn Windows feature on or off if already IIS is not available or not installed. Just open it. This will be the window. Turn Windows feature on or off. Out of the select this Internet Information Services. Click it. It will be FTP server, web management tool. Just select the default IIS Management Console. The IIS Management Console is sufficient to us, and you must have this Worldwide Web Services enabled. So that HTTP protocol will work on. Now here we are setting your terminal as a web server. Okay. It will look for the required files. Those required files will be installed. It will take some time. There are two different web servers which are most common. The first proprietary web server is the Windows web server, and second is the Linux web server. Linux web servers are available free of cost. Only the cost associated with the internet contributes the cost supported for the Linux type of. So the cost of Linux web server is very, very low compared to the cost of Windows, because Windows, even the Windows operating system is not at all a free operating system or open source operating system. Linux open source web servers are available. Various packages which supports Linux servers can be utilized. On one of those packages is the Apache web server. Apache web server, almost 95% of the open source web servers are utilizing Apache as their web server configuration because of its low cost, because of its somewhat complex administration. But if you know the command prompt based administration, then all the administrations associated with Apache web servers can be very well known to you. Today we'll see this particular Windows features, Internet Information Server, IIS. This IIS is available for all the Windows operating systems, so that even your desktop terminal can be converted into a web server. And that's what we are going to do this particular terminal, where I will assign the startup file in a specific folder, so that that particular file will be visible from anywhere in the local area network, or that particular file can be viewed through your browser. That I will show you. A simple configuration. You can then explore by your own. Only requirement is that if this particular feature, Internet Information Services, is not at all available, you have to add through turn on Windows feature on or off. By default, it's off. So you have to enable it, whatever I have shown you. Apply the changes. After completion, you will see here let it finish. Now this Internet Information Services is available. IIS Manager. Windows completed. Now we can run Internet Information Services Manager. There are lots of configurations. I will just show you the minimum configurations which are required so that this particular system or this particular device will be the web server. Will be the web server. I will go to this site. I will go to default website. I will go to the manage website. I will go to advanced settings. I am simply showing you the minimum configurations. I will show you whatever at present. I will find out the IP address. So IP address of this particular terminal, open network and internet setting, change network. The simplest way, what is the IP address that is being assigned to this terminal? The IP address that is being assigned to this terminal is IP version 4 address 192.168.0.167. So I will open the browser. at present and directly give 192.168.0.167. You will get this Internet Information Services. Once you add this feature to your setting, if this is not available, then your IIS is not at all configured. This by default is the specific directory that is being utilized by the IIS so that the services can be added. But this should be your default page whenever you open the IP address that is assigned to your terminal in your browser. Now go back again to the services, Internet Information Services. See here, physical path. Here, I will select the physical path. I will create one directory, a new, entirely new directory on drive C. Make new folder. I will rename that web host as web host. That will be my default folder. All my files will be available in that default folder, web host. Now see here, the path is available, c:/web host. That is the path that is available. Now I can select the second important setting is default document. So the default document that is selected, I can create any file which will have these names, and whenever these names are added in that particular directory, that will be the default page. That will be the default page. So I will create now a simple web page, by using the notepad. I will not at all use any HTML command, just I will type it here, first page, and I will save as index.html in the folder which we have created, that is web host. So in that web host folder, it will be index.html that will be available. So index.html is now available. Now again in IIS, I have configured the root directory, I have configured first file. So now I will refresh this 192.168.0.167. What I am getting is first page. That means this particular terminal is now a web server which can host all types of HTML files, all types of ASP files, all types of scripting files, whatever may be those files. Those will be available through this. If I create a HTML page by providing the links to the new pages, it will be a standard web page that will be hosted on this. If I change this index.html file, first page, links are to be added, page is under construction, visit. Okay. I will save it in the same folder, save as web host index.html. I will overwrite that. We'll again go back to the browser and again I will refresh it. First page, links are to be added. Page is under construction, visit again. That's how I can create my pages. Multiple pages can be created. You can create the web pages by simply using the Office, MS Office. Create any Word file, add any type of formatting, add any type of configuration, and save it as HTML. Say I will show you simply how the various links can be created. Suppose I'm opening my application Word. I will create actually a blank page. In this particular blank page, I will select GCE Karad. For this particular GCE Karad, suppose I click change the color to blue. I will increase the size to 28. Then I will add the hyperlink. Hyperlink for this link will be the address of our GCE Karad. What is that? HTTP www.gcekarad.ac.in. I'm assigning this particular link to this HTML file. See here, whenever I take my mouse, it will show http www.gcekarad.ac.in. I will again also create another hyperlink, say Intel or Intel. And again I will create another link. So it will be http www.intel.com. Now I will save this particular file as HTML file in our folder previously, which was having a simple file to web host, whereas a web page. Say index web page, I am replacing the existing file. Now again I will go to browser. I will refresh it. Here, my new web page is immediately showing me. So whenever I am clicking it, I will go to intel.com. Whenever I go back, I will press GCE Karad. I will be taken to college link. This is how we are hosting the web pages, creating the web pages. This configuration is suitable for a FTP server. This configuration is suitable for a HTTP server, both for static as well as dynamic web pages. Now you can explore all the various options that are available in IIS. Try those options. If you find any difficulty, then get back to me. Are there any difficulties at present? Try this option for your own terminal. At present, this is the web server which is available to all the terminals which are connected to the local area network. At present, I am assigning only the internal IP address. This IP address 192.168.0.167 is the internal IP address that is being assigned to this terminal. If this particular web page is to be accessed from anywhere, I have to redirect the external IP address to this particular internal IP address by configuring my router. So that whatever request to that particular IP address will be redirected to this particular IP address, which is the internal IP address, which is hosting my web page. You can shoot out your questions. Sir, will you repeat the configuration, please? Which configuration?
FTP server. How you configure your web?
The IIS configuration.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Whenever you add the feature, IIS will be available in your menu now. That is the application that is being installed on your terminal. So whenever you go to this, go to the default website. Okay. In the default website, go to manage website. Go to advanced setting. In the advanced setting, select one particular directory, that is physical path. Okay. And in this particular directory, c:/web host, add whatever files you can. Now suppose I don't want that index.page. So I will allow here directory browsing. This particular directory browsing at present is disabled. I will enable it. So I can add a number of files which can be accessed through the web browser for the specific site. That also can be done. So I will go to now that folder. At present index file and the modifications which this particular file index and index file is created since I am adding or converting a text document into a web page through Word. That's why these index and index files are available. Suppose I rename this as index
Hello.
1. Since it's not at all a default page.
Hello.
Yeah.
Sir, not this. Means from start, how what changes you made in your system to make this IIS?
No, if this is not at all available, IIS is not available, then add feature or turn Windows feature on or off in the control panel.
Yes.
You must have this turn Windows feature on or off. Then this is available. Then these are the features which are by default not installed on your operating system. The black one are already installed. Please see here, Internet Information Services. I have selected this Internet Information Services. If I disable this, then again IIS will not at all be available. But if I select this, IIS will be available. And after this, it will download. If the files are not at all available on your terminal, it will download all the files from the internet. If you are connected to internet, or if you are not at all connected to internet, you need to connect to the local area network, and you must have the installation CD, but which is not at all required. These features are built-in supported for the operating, at least for Windows 10 and Windows 8 operating system. Below Windows 8, you require actually the original CD for installing the Internet Information Services. For Windows 8 and Windows 10, it's not at all required. If it's not at all available, then there is a problem in your system. This particular feature must be available. This particular feature, the Internet Information Services, must be available. In that Internet Information Services, by default, web management tools and worldwide web services are selected. You can select it as the FTP server also. If you select it as the FTP server, instead of HTTP, you can provide FTP in the browser, FTP:// and the IP address. So whatever files you are sharing in the FTP folder, all those files will be available and your terminal will be a file server. So HTTP server and FTP server are configured with the support of this Internet Information Services. That is only required.
Sir, can you host our web servers? Means for trial purpose.
What? Can?
Means, currently we are using XAMPP for localhost. Then can we use our as a web server for hosting our pages such as HTML files and other PHP files?
Yeah. You are utilizing WAP configuration or lab?
XAMPP, sir.
XAMPP.
XAMPP.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
For that, first Z indicates your operating system or the platform. Then second A suggests you that you are utilizing the web server Apache. It's an Apache web server. Then the database server that is supported by this XAMPP platform is MySQL. ZAMP. A is for Apache, M is for MySQL server, that is database server, and P is the PHP scripting. So instead of HTML scripting, you are utilizing or you are creating the pages by using PHP. So you must have a PHP editor for creating the pages on your XAMPP. Or if you know the PHP scripting, you can create those PHP pages simply in Notepad, create with the support of the syntax that is utilized for PHP, and save the page as PHP in Notepad. Then that particular file will be available. Whenever you are configuring XAMPP, it also asks you the default folder. By default, the folder specifically utilized for Linux. Here it's the www root, that is the default folder, but you can configure that in the php.ini file of the XAMPP server. In php.ini, open the php.ini in Notepad and select the default folder. And in that the default folder, you can add your own folder as the default folder. And you can add your files. But once the php.ini, be careful. It should be properly opened and saved. If it's not properly saved, your web server will collapse. So php.ini is the basic file, or sometimes for the XAMPP server, it's HTTP docs folder. Whatever files you want to host are actually available in HTTP docs folder. This particular what I have shown you is the Windows platform hosting for web server and FTP server. What you are talking is another platform. There are various platforms. LAMP, LAMP. It's the Linux server. Linux
No,
is
sir.
the
Hello.
yes.
Yes, sir. Means म्हणजे झॅम्प म्हणून यूज करतो ते फक्त लोकल होस्ट साठी वर्क होतंय. तर आपण आयपी ऍड्रेस आता हे जे काही वर्क होतंय ते ऍड्रेस वर वर्क होतंय. का हे आपण पेज दुसऱ्याला शेअर करू शकतो का? म्हणजे का फक्त आपल्या सिस्टीम साठीच हे चालणार? आपण दुसऱ्याला कोणाला पर्टिक्युलर
लोकल नाही हे सध्या हे सगळं जे आहे ना हे लोकल एरिया नेटवर्क मध्ये दुसऱ्या टर्मिनलवर यू कॅन सी. ओके, आय विल शो यू फ्रॉम अनदर. I will make another.
Means like web pages, like we host on internet and other people can see it. XAMPP, the local host, only our system can be perform. That only we are able to see.
That's what I have told you. You have to configure the public domain IP address such that that public domain IP address will be redirected to your terminal. Then only these pages will be available over internet. For local area network, it's not at all required. In the local area network, if directly I give the IP address 192.168 in local area network only, not for all the terminals. 167. Okay, this is the screen for, at present this is the screen for my, so I will stop sharing. I will make another Anil Karwankar as the presenter, and I will show another Anil Karwankar is now.
Switching on, I'm utilizing laptop, and this particular laptop, I will share the screen. This is my another terminal. It's a laptop. This laptop I will open browser and I will give directly this 192.168.0.160.
Here,
Here,
if
if
I
I give it,
it's
it's another terminal in my local area network. If you see the IP address of this particular, it's connected by using Wi-Fi. The IP address that is assigned, the automatically IP address is assigned. And for this terminal, IP address is 190.168.0.224. This is the IP address for this particular terminal. Is not at all configured. But from this 224 terminal, I am opening the browser and I am accessing directly 192.168.0.167. This is my another laptop that is connected to the local area network. See, and you can see this is my terminal, which properties. The name of this laptop is Rushikesh. That is assigned. Here, computer name. This computer name is Rushikesh. It is another terminal in my local area network. I am utilizing browser of Rushikesh to access the web files that are hosted on another terminal, that is the first terminal which I have shown you, where I have hosted that is having the IP address 192.168.0.167. This is now available for a local area network. Suppose I want to make it available, then I need to configure virtual server of my router and redirecting my public domain IP address to the local IP address, that is 0.160. We'll also try to share so that from your side you can directly access the IP address and whatever we have hosted. Again,
for this particular terminal, if I configure the public domain IP address, the IP address that is assigned is 192.168.0.167. So I will try to configure. Just give me 2 minutes. here I am configuring the HTTP protocol in my router so that whatever IP address which is public domain IP address, whenever that public domain IP address is put into the browser of your terminal, then you will directly access whatever is hosted on this terminal. I will tell you what is. At present, port forwarding from the public domain server to the local server is not initiated by my service provider, and that's why it's not at all possible. But next week I will show you by assigning myself a public domain IP address from the service provider. I will show you that this configuration, whatever I can use WAM server, LAM server, JAM server, but that will be redirected to the IP address where I am hosting my files. That I will show you. At present, public domain IP address is not perfectly been assigned. IP address is just a minute. I will communicate with him. If he can assign just now. So next week I will show you this translation. From your side, you will provide the IP address and you will be redirected to my terminal. At present, it's not at all possible. It's not at all supported by my service provider. One translation is provided, but second translation from public domain to the private domain is not at all provided. But I will ask him to provide me that translation and I will show you that. Any more difficulty? Okay, then I will stop here only.